Hello everyone, today is March 15th, 2014. It's been a few months since I've made my last video, frankly because there's nothing going on. I'm in my grow room, as you can see right now, and right now it's about 45 degrees in here. It's quite cool because there's nothing growing in here right now. This winter's been very cold. It's been very snowy. There's feet of snow outside still. Spring really isn't in sight, but spring will come, summer will come. It's the way the world works. It has to come. So anyway, around this time last year, if I can remember correctly, I started my peppers and a couple eggplant. And lo and behold, last year I wasn't able to plant them out in the garden until, I don't know, the second or third week of June, which is about at least 2 to 3 weeks later than I would have liked. Last year the issue was water. Too much rain in the spring. It was just exceptionally rainy spring. This year I'm hoping we have less of a rainy spring and we have a normal thaw. I can't really control that. However, this year I am growing in a greenhouse. I'm going to be talking to you about peppers and eggplant in a minute because that's what I'm going to be starting over the next few days. And of course I'll bring it back and make a video on that. And it's pretty much basically the same as my other videos, but I think you guys enjoy seeing it. So I'm going to bring it back and start my gardening 2014 series. But anyway, I will be growing in a greenhouse this year, and my peppers, and I'm only going to be doing a few eggplant. They never really work out. I never get an eggplant, but I have high hopes for the greenhouse this year. The majority, probably 90 to 95% of my peppers, I will be growing in the greenhouse inside grow bags. I may mess around with a little bit of hydroponics later on in the season once I get everything established in the grow bags and we see how the summer's progressing. But I'm not going to spend the money or the time learning in getting all that stuff right now when I have no idea if the greenhouse is even going to work. At the end of the day, greenhouses, I guess you would consider it a cold frame, a hoop house, unheated. Right now it's as cold as it is outside. It's as cold as it is inside the greenhouse. But I'm thinking once it starts warming up, beginning of June, I'll be able to have these peppers in the greenhouse. Even if we get a light frost in the beginning of June, I won't have to really mess with that at all. I won't have to worry. And the same thing is, it's going to be dry in there. Once I start working in the greenhouse, putting in my beds, putting in my flooring, different supports, I'll bring you along. But that, we're still at least, I don't know, probably a good 5 to 6 weeks away from anything outdoors yet. But anyway, that's kind of where things are for this year. It's been, as I said before, it's been a very cold and snowy winter. Our hay guy up the street, he's an old timer. He's probably in his 60s by now, and he says this is the coldest winter they've had in probably 20 to 30 years. Same thing with the amount of snow. This is our third winter that I was here at the farm. The previous two were Florida compared to this as far as snow and as far as cold. Last year this time, I'm sure if you check back some of my videos, I think it was even in the middle or the end of March, around this time, we had days, we had a week maybe it was 60, 70 degrees and everything melted, which was great. This year, the extended forecast doesn't show anything getting above maybe 35, 40 degrees, probably not even 40 degrees for the next, till the end of March. So I'm really hoping, as I say, out like a lion, in like a lamb as far as the spring goes. I really want some lamb type spring weather. But in any case, I will be planting and starting my seeds in the grow room, which I'm in now. I'm not going to go into detail about this. If you want to check out my previous videos on my grow room, or if you have specific questions about what I use for lighting or soil or trays, whatever, I'd be happy to make a video on that, going into more detail or what have you. But anyway, this is the official first video of the 2014 growing season, 2014 gardening season. And stay tuned for more. I'll be having videos probably at least once a week. Once I start seeding and things start coming up, at least probably once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. Just depends on my schedule and on what's going on at the farm. Currently, I'll touch base on that. Right now we have 17 horses, so it's quite full, quite busy here at the barn. Morning chores every day, afternoon chores, and then 2 evening chores. 2 evening checks. So it takes up quite a bit of time, which, once spring and summer comes, my time's going to be cut in half over in the barn. And dealing with the horses, I'm going to be more so focused on the garden, focused on projects. I have lots of projects this year. I'm going to be redoing the chicken coop. I'm actually making, if you can picture it, I'm pointing where it is now, but if you look at my chicken coop video, it's a little coop, maybe 3 by 4 foot, and then it has an 8 by 12 pen, and then it has a secondary 8 by 12 pen, 4 foot high. Well, that's going away. This winter was very hard on the chickens. I didn't prepare myself for that. I didn't prepare the coop for that. So none of them died. They're all alive. They're all fine. They're going through their molting process, so they're a little bit, you know, sorry for sore eyes or whatever the phrase is, and they're not laying right now. It's just due to the cold, and it's due to the day length. The day lengths are still very short, even though you turn the clocks ahead, but it doesn't get light now until after 7 o'clock, but it stays light till 7 o'clock, or somewhere in between that. But in any case, that's all going to be coming down, and I'm going to be putting up a brand new chicken, I call it chicken shed. Enclosed walls, 4 sides, nice floor, ceiling with shingles, possibly, maybe some siding on the walls, or painted real nice, window, doors, the whole 9 yards, new nesting boxes, new watering systems, and I might be getting maybe 5 or 6 more new chickens. The goal is this year is to be able to go to market, excuse me, with my crops, my vegetables, and even eggs if I'm allowed to sell it at the market. I'm not sure. I have to look into that. They may not let you sell it unless you're a registered chicken grower or whatever. But in any case, my hope is to be able to go to one of the local markets here, get my feet wet. It's a small market. It's only been around, I think, for 2 or 3 or 4 years, maybe between 2 and 4 years. So there's not a lot of vendors. A lot of the vendors also go down into town, which is a larger one, every Saturday. I'm not sure if they have it going on right now in the wintertime. I don't think so, because it's all outdoors. They actually closed down Main Street. I just don't think I'm mentally prepared for that yet, or think I can compete with those type of people. I know gardening and stuff isn't about competing with your neighbor and seeing who can grow the biggest tomato and getting the most money. It's not necessarily what it's about. It's about local sustainable growing and having fun in the whole deal. So there are places around to compete with, but if I can get my feet wet in this market, maybe next year, if I do successful, and successful to me is just to make back the money that I spend, which with the greenhouse last year and everything that I bought this year, not a lot of new seeds. I had a lot of seeds sent to me from some friends. I have 2 good friends in California that send me seeds. We trade seeds, and I'm in a good growing group, on Facebook. It's like a gardening group. Most people are from California, so their climates right now is probably 75, 80 degrees every day, so their climates are a lot different than mine. But once summer comes here, it'll be the same as it is out there, as far as sunlight and the whole deal. So I thank my friends for sending me things. I will be touching base on what they sent me actually when I go over my peppers that I'm going to be planting this year. So that's pretty much it. Right now behind me, I actually have my oil heater, my oil, what do you want to call it? My self-contained oil unit. It's like, I don't know, 1,000 watts or whatever, 500 watts. I want to get the grow room up to temperature. I just turned it on as soon as I came in here, and that was probably, what, 7-8 minutes ago when I started this video, and I can already feel the heat. So with the plastic in here, and you know how it was set up last year, I have high hopes, other than the spider webs that are everywhere that I have to clean off the ceiling. But anyway, other than that, I'm really looking forward to this year. I know every year when I start my videos, I say, this is going to be the best growing season I have. Well, they've been progressively getting better, but not to the state of where I would like them to be. This year I have high hopes for the garden. I know I'm kind of jumping around here, but it's all general before the season stuff. And basically in the garden, the past 3 years I've had issues with weeds. That I think is my #1 reason. I produce tomatoes, I produce peas, beans, squash, I produce everything, and most things produce very, very, very well. However, the weeds are definitely hindering them. I just know that, as well as just the general appearance. So I went out and bought 25 or 2,400 feet, a 4 foot wide, I'm not sure what mil plastic it is, maybe I don't know, 1 mil or something. It's not very thick, but it's not a biodegradable. I will remove it every year, and I may even leave some rows to have kind of more like a permanent bed system. More than likely probably won't, because I'll be putting my drip tape down and putting stakes in the whole deal. Which, speaking of stakes and drip tape, all that stuff's out there right now, covered under about 2 feet of snow. I didn't have time last fall to take it all up. Winter came on very fast, and I had so much to do here at the farm, the garden kind of got forgotten about. So in the springtime, I have a lot of work to clean up before I can start growing. But anyway, back to the weed barrier. I got it from a company called Johnny Seeds. They were out of, I think, Maine or somewhere in northeastern United States. Big long roll. It probably weighs maybe 60-70 pounds of plastic. So the goal is to till up the garden real good, and as soon as I till up a stretch, mark my row with the tractor, roll out the drip tape. If I'm going to use drip tape, I'm still on the fence depending if I'm going to use it or not. Put the drip tape regardless, and then put the plastic on top, fill in the sides to keep the weight on the plastic, it doesn't blow away. And then as wherever I want to put a plant, say I want to put a pumpkin plant, I just punch a little hole, two inch hole, put the plant in there, and there we go. So anyway, my heater just kicked on, so I think I'll end this video. And thanks for watching, and stay tuned. There's lots of things coming down. I'm going to have farm videos, chicken videos, lots of greenhouse videos, maybe some hydroponic videos. Probably not. If I do, it'll be towards the end of the spring, maybe July or so. Just depends on time frames. And just, you know, if there's other things you guys want to see around the farm, I'd be happy to show you. You want to see some horses, you want to see a big pile of manure, you want to see the greenhouse, how it held up this winter, you want to see, you know, whatever. If you want to see me putting in posts and drilling holes for the paddocks, putting up electrical on, I'd be happy to show you guys. You know, this season's going to be, I want to try to focus more on videos. I like to do it at least every couple weeks, at least once a month or so, if not more, on gardening on the farm, to keep you guys informed. Because over the winter, I've had people ask, say, hey, where you been, and all I keep saying is there's so much snow everywhere, there's nothing to film unless you want to see snow, which I'm kind of sick of it by now. But anyway, you know, let me know what you guys want to see. And you know, I'm looking forward to getting in the greenhouse, growing, and getting everything set up. So stay tuned. The next few videos coming up are going to be about seeding, peppers, eggplants, tomatoes in a couple weeks, and down the line, once we get into May, we're going to be doing cucumbers, squash. I'm going to try to seed as many things as I can in plug trays here in the house, in my grow room, instead of putting them in the garden. Last year, a lot of things didn't take. Pumpkins, cantaloupe, nothing. Watermelon, nothing. Pumpkins at maybe 50%, and the problem is because they all rotted. When I planted them, I watered them in real good, and then we had, you know, weeks of just daily rains, and the soil is very clay based, if you can picture from last year and the other videos, and it would never dry out, and the seeds would rot after a week, and it would be very discouraging. So this year I'm going to start them in little cell pots. I got 1.5 inch cells, I got 1 inch cells, I got 2 inch, 3 inch cups. So by June, this room is going to be slammed full of plants, and I can't wait. Alright, stay tuned for more, and thanks for watching.